Good afternoon to all my listeners. Stay tuned with Modern Group of Institutions, an approved institute by AICT, PCI, NCT, New Delhi, and affiliated to RGPV, Bhopal, and DAVV, Indore. Myself, Mitesh Sachdeva, working as an assistant professor in Modern Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Alwasa, Indore. Today, I am starting a new topic in this video lecture series that is given in the PCI syllabus of 6th semester, Unit 3rd. That is your Chapter 2, Quinolones. In the quinolones, there is a classification called fluoroquinolones. They consist of a fluorine group in their structure, in their quinoline derivative. Therefore, they are called as fluoroquinolones. In this, today I am taking the drug ciprofloxacin. Here I am going to discuss the a basic introduction of ciprofloxacin. The main part of this video lecture series is the synthesis of ciprofloxacin, and I will also discuss the mechanism of action for ciprofloxacin. Let us start with the topic ciprofloxacin. Here, first of all, I give the definition for fluoroquinolones. So, the fluoroquinolones are the family of broad spectrum systematic antibacterial agents. They are broad spectrum antibiotic agents and antibacterial that have been used widely as a therapy of respiratory and urinary tract infections. So the quinolones comes under the category of urinary tract infections or anti-urinary tract infection agents. Now these are used widely in the market, and fluoroquinolones are 5-star drugs. They are safer to use, they are high potency, they have new fluoroquinolones are broad in spectrum, they show deep penetration in tissues, but they do not cross the blood brain barrier and can enter into the cell, that is intracellular organisms. They are good in oral absorptions. Next, come to the classification. So, according to their chemical nature, they are classified into first, second, third, and fourth generation drugs according to their mode of action or according to their pharmacological actions. Basically, the main chemical moiety which is present in these different generations is quinolone. So, the first generation drug is nalidixic acid, which is a gram negative drug, and but it is inactive against Pseudomonas species. The second generation drugs is norfloxacin, ciprofloxacin, and ofloxacin. They are also gram negative drugs. They are active against gram negative bacteria and also against some gram positive bacteria, that is Staphylococcus aureus. But these second generation drugs are also effective against Pseudomonas species, which is the drawback of first generation drugs. The third generation drug is levofloxacin, sparfloxacin, moxifloxacin, and getifloxacin. They are similar to the second generation drugs, and they are they have more or extended effect on gram positive and atypical drugs, microorganisms. Fourth is trovofloxacin. They are broad anaerobic. They are effective against anaerobic microorganisms, and they are also effective against gram negative and gram positive bacteria. So the next is the main part of our video lecture series, that is our synthesis of ciprofloxacin. So if we understand or we start learning the ciprofloxacin, first of all we will see the structure of ciprofloxacin. So the structure consists of benzpyridine ring, consists of the basic benzpyridine ring, which consists of a furan group on the sixth position. So it is called as furoquinolones. So this is a quinoline ring. Benzene with pyridine and a ketone group on the fourth position. It is called as quinoline ring. So on the quinoline ring, it consists of fluorine at sixth position. So it is also comes under the category of fluoroquinolones. So it consists of fluoroquinolone ring, and it consists of an isopropyl group, a carboxylic group on third position and piperazine ring on 6th position. Okay. So next is the synthesis. For the synthesis, if we break the structure, we will see it consists of 3 parts. So we will design it according to the retrosynthesis method, that we will go from product to precursor. So if we cut this structure, it will be cutted into 3 parts. First of all, we will take this basic structure, then we will esterify it, then we will attach this isopropyl group, and in last we will attach the piperazine ring. So starting with the synthesis of ciprofloxacin, the starting material or the precursor for the synthesis is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is 3-chloro, 4-fluoro, benzyl amine. And if this amine group consists of a lone pair of electrons, this 3-chloro-4-fluorobenzylamine is treated with acetate derivative. So this is our acetate derivative of lithium salt. Now this acetate derivative of lithium salt will react with 3-chloro-4-fluorobenzylamine, and it will give an intermediate. So this is the intermediate. The intermediate in this intermediate, this C2H5 will be separated. This C2H5OH will be separated out. Means C2H5O will be separated from this part. This bond will break, and one hydrogen atom will be separated from NH2. So C2H5OH will be replaced out, and the remaining acetate derivative will go and attach on NH. So this will be our intermediate. It consists of this basic ring acetate, means it consists of 3-chloro, 4-fluoro, and with nitrogen we will attach the CH double bond C, COO C2H5, COO C2H5 as esters. Now again there will be some after this, the third step is the rearrangement reaction. So there will be the rearrangement of this acetate derivative. It is attached with amine, and in this rearrangement again one ethanol group will be separated out. So this C2H5O and this bond will break, so C2H5OH will be separated out, and this will be like after rearrangement a new intermediate will be prepared, that is benzene with chlorine and fluorine. It will be acetate. Here the bond is broken, so this C2H5OH is separated. So from here one hydrogen will be shifted. This will be the hydrogen, and the remaining compound will be same, NHCH double bond C consists of COO C2H5, and here remains C double bond O, because from here C2H5OH has been separated out after the rearrangement. Next, in fourth step, what will happen? There will be the cyclization reaction. Here what will be happen? There will be the cyclization reaction, and in cyclization, this bond carbon, the bond which is free at carbon, will be shifted toward the second position of benzene ring, second position of this aromatic ring. So the cyclization reaction take place. This bond will be shifted, and here C double bond O, this C double bond O will be converted into the cyclic structure. Now if C double bond O will be shifted here, this COO C2H5 will go in upward direction. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it consists of 3 ethyl acetate and 4 ketone with 2 lone pair. So this converted into a cyclic compound. After this, what we will do in fifth step, we will do the alkylation reaction in the presence of isopropyl chloride. Alkylation in presence of isopropyl chloride. So this is isopropyl 1, 2, 3. So this is called as isopropyl chloride. When we do the alkylation, this hydrogen will separate it out with chlorine molecule. So what we will see, this hydrogen will be separated with this chlorine molecule. So one HCl will be separated out. You will see that one HCl molecule will be separated out. Here chlorine will be separated out. Now what happened? This pre-isopropyl chain, this isopropyl ring will be attached with the nitrogen atom. So in the second slide, what we will see, this intermediate is formed, which consists of one. Now the counting will be here from here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1 isopropyl, 3 ethyl acetate, 4 ketone, 5 fluorine, 6 chlorine. These are the different substitutions in quinoline ring. So this, our quinoline ring is formed, ring A and B. What will happen then in sixth step? We will convert this ester. We have to convert this ester into acid. We have to convert the ester into the acid. For this, what we will do, we will hydrolyze the intermediate. We will hydrolyze this intermediate in the presence of sodium hydroxide. Hydrolysis is done with the presence of with NaOH, sodium hydroxide, and this ester is separated out. It will separate out in the form of C2H5, and OH will be separated from here. So this C2H5 and OH will be separated out, and then we will see this ester is converted into acid. Now in the seventh step, this is the last synthesis step. In the seventh step, there should be nucleophilic replacement reaction. Nucleophilic replacement reaction takes part in the presence of piperazine ring. So this is your piperazine ring, and piperazine ring replaces this chlorine atom. This chlorine atom will be replaced out from the 7th position, and this piperazine will be attached at the 7th position. So this is the basic structure of ciprofloxacin. What is the basic structure of ciprofloxacin? It consists of 1 isopropyl, 4 carboxy, 1 isopropyl, 3 carboxy, 4 ketone, 6 fluoro, 7 piperazine ring. This is the basic synthesis. And now come to the mechanism of action. So in the mechanism of action, we have to first understand there is an enzyme called DNA gyrase enzyme. This DNA gyrase enzyme is present inside the Mycobacterium tuberculosis cell, which convert the which is responsible for the replication of DNA, and it is also responsible for the it is also responsible for the separation of DNA into two ligands, that is for the expression, so that the two ligands of the DNA undergo for expression. Now this DNA gyrase is also called as topoisomerase second and topoisomerase fourth. This topoisomerase fourth is responsible um, for separating the DNA helical structure into two helicals. So this DNA structure is separated into two different helicals or two different strands. So here, what the ciprofloxacin does, ciprofloxacin or other fluoroquinolones, they block the ligase action wherein has no effect on endonuclease action of enzyme. Thus, what the bacteria left with is fragment of DNA which cannot be expressed. For example, all the fluoroquinolones or ciprofloxacin, they inhibit the activity of topoisomerase 4. So they inhibit the activity of topoisomerase 4, due to which the DNA, double helical structure of DNA, this is the double helical structure of DNA which is broken. The double bond between these strands have been broken by the ciprofloxacin, and it is converted into the two different strands, and due to which, since topoisomerase 4 is now inhibited, so it means that DNA fragments should be remain as it is, and there is the lysis or killing of DNA, or there is the killing of cell. By this method, our quinolines, fluoroquinolines, or all the fluoroquinolines or ciprofloxacin works. Let us see the small mechanism. They block the bacterial DNA synthesis by inhibiting bacterial DNA gyrase, and topoisomerase fourth. They inhibit DNA gyrase. Inhibition of DNA gyrase prevents the relaxation of positively supercoiled DNA that is required for the normal transcription and replication. Hence, ciprofloxacin blocks the uh, proper formation of DNA. Thus, the transcription and replication processes of DNA should be stopped, and ultimately there should be the pathogenesis of mycobacterium cell wall, because there is no formation of new DNA, and thus our mycobacterium tuberculosis cells will be killed. So the ciprofloxacin gives bactericidal activity. So here it is written that our ciprofloxacin gives the bactericidal, or they are the bactericidal agents. Now come to the chemical uses. The main chemical uses are, they are urinary tract infections used in the UTI infections. They are also used in osteomyelitis, gonorrhea, travelers diarrhea, tuberculosis, prostatitis, community acquired pneumonia, diabetic foot infection, and anthrax. The oral route is 100 milligram, parenteral is 200, and ophthalmic is 3 milligram. So these are the durations, and usual duration is 17 to 14 days, and available in the different forms. Oral route, parenteral, and ophthalmic routes are given. The brand name is Ciproxin, Bayer, and Cycin. These are the references. And thank you. Thanks for watching the video.